Company versus corporation, the significance of jurisdiction. When considering whether to refer to a for-profit corporate entity as either a company or a corporation, a key determinant should be the jurisdiction in which the entity was incorporated and is operating, which is typically identified by country, although with respect to the United States of America, there are some slight differences as between the various states. Most countries retain the influence of the British Commonwealth with respect to their designation of for-profit corporate entities as companies, based upon the country's version of the Companies Act that makes company the designation of the entity. Countries that have a Companies Act that identifies the entity as a company include the United Kingdom, including or in addition to Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Ireland proper, India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, although now it's called the Companies Ordinance, South Africa, Kenya, Singapore, New Zealand, Jamaica, Bahamas, Barbados, and other smaller nations. Meanwhile, Australia, which has a Corporations Act that it refers to its corporate legislation, nonetheless designates the for-profit corporate entity as a company within that legislation. In the United States, we are looking at state-specific statutes that work on identifying corporate status, in addition to the Internal Revenue Code, which does make references to S corporations and C corporations. But with respect to incorporation and the state-specific statutes, this is heavily dependent upon the states, with corporation being the term that is utilized in almost all of them. But some of these statutes allow for the use of company or its abbreviation, co, as part of the corporate name. Further noting that certain of those states do not allow and or an ampersand to precede company or its abbreviation, co, in the corporate name. This in turn creates a degree of ambiguity in the United States as to the use of corporation or company. However, there are certain states which more particularly reference the use of corporation only in the corporate name, and therefore one would consider to be using corporation as a proper entity name more preponderantly, those being California, New York, Alabama, Hawaii, Minnesota, and New Hampshire. Meanwhile, in Canada, both at the federal and provincial level, there is a use of the Business Corporations Act for purposes of designating and utilizing the term for-profit corporate entities. And there they utilize the term corporation as opposed to company. So it is the one Commonwealth country that has moved away from the use of company with respect to its designation of the corporate entity. Thank you.